All right, we are going to be talking about getting the interview and guests to events tonight. That is our big focus, which is perfect for tonight because we don't have any guests. It's perfect. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I want to get some feedback from you all first. What holds you back from getting an interview? What do you feel like are things that hold you back? Yell them out. I'm not trying to remember.
Like not time?
Yeah. Not asking.
Feeling like we'll be a bother to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Not feeling like I have the right words to be efficient in the interview process.
Letting too much time go between when I meet them and
process, not
like too much time dwindles by.
Okay.
From the time
Like you didn't ask right then.
Yeah,
and so
then it's weeks on and then
okay.
she
Too much
doesn't
time
remember
went
who you
by.
are, what you're talking about.
Okay. Somebody said something between not asking and not feeling like I have the right words, and I didn't catch it. So if it was you, yell it out. Sorry.
It was when you said, I said feeling like you'll be a bother.
Oh, that.
Okay.
Yep. That was the one.
That was before.
That was the one. Feeling like you'll be a bother.
And then hers was during the actual interview
Okay.
process.
I still connect with my director because I feel like I'm not going to give the right testimony or ask the right questions.
Just wait for that quickly, like, yes.
Yeah, and finding questions that get an interviewee to talk versus a short answer, like open-ended question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
So you watch an expert do it, they like don't say anything the whole time.
Yep.
I think when you watch the expert do it, listen, they're so well seasoned.
Right.
And then I think that's a little bit.
I think those are great. Those are really like common fears that kind of hold you back. Can you think of any others that people sometimes have?
Just that you're afraid they'll say no.
Yeah. Yep. Not asking.
Energy.
I need to go to your website to download the card to give people. I don't have access to do that since I've moved everything and I don't have where my printer is. It's like,
Yeah.
how do I do that?
Yeah.
I need to. I guess you can go London.
You can send it to a parent.
Send it to
Straight
yeah.
Kinko's.
All right. So what I want to start with is that the process actually starts way back in your skincare class, because obviously that's where we are getting the people to ask is from our skincare class. And so a couple of big places that I feel like that happens is one, just at the beginning when you're giving your introduction and you're building rapport with them and asking them about themselves and getting to know a little bit about them and just being a really good listener to what they say, because it helps give you clues about who to talk to, who to really focus on when you get to the end of your skincare class. The other place is when you're doing the purse game and, you know, the letter W in the purse game, watch what I do. Anybody skip that letter ever because you're like scared? I mean, I used to, I'll be honest. I just forgot that one. You know, at the beginning, I remember as a younger consultant really feeling nervous about the team building part of it. For some reason, I think the sales make sense to us. Like we feel like that's a really great service, but we can struggle with feeling like somebody was, I think you said it out there when we were doing the recognition tonight, that what a blessing it's been in your life and how you get to pass that on to people. And sometimes until that switch flips, we forget that. And it's hard for us to remember that this really is a blessing and it's something that we're offering to people, and that it changed our lives and it can change other people's lives. And so W, watch what I do, you know, and going through the qualities of the women that you're looking for to work with and letting them know up front. Every skincare class, Mary Kay said that there would be at least 2 women who would be good at doing what I do. So every time that I get together with women, I ask a couple of people, at least a couple of people, to watch a video or listen to an audio, whatever tool you're using right now, and then follow up with me or me and my director for an interview, either coffee or over the phone, So if you want to, I always kind of joke about it. I'm like, so if you want to volunteer, you'll get your friends that book. But I do always say, like, if you have questions about it, because by this time, like, we've done satin hands, we've done skincare, they know me, you know, they've heard a little bit about my story. They don't know me, I guess, but they know, hopefully they've guessed that I'm not like I'm not scary K by then, you know. And so I'll say, I don't ever twist anybody's arm to do anything. So if you've got questions about it, please feel free to ask me, you know. And I even say, like, I don't twist anybody's arm to join Mary Kay because it doesn't do any good, because then you gotta twist their arm to get them to work. And that doesn't bring peace and joy. And I like to work my business with peace and joy. And they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, like, I just kind of set them at ease about the whole thing. So those are two places that I feel like in your skincare class are really important for you to be able to have the opportunity then at the end during the individual close to bring it up with them. If you haven't said those two things and you ask them at the end, so you want to be an interview for me? They're like, what are you talking about? They're kind of scary, you know? No, you got to set it up. So, and just about building rapport. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I have to grab my phone down here that's charging, sorry. Hi. So let's see. Nope, not it. You guys heard of The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, The Scrolls? If you haven't, you should totally read that book. I wanted to read you one of the scrolls, and it's a little bit long, but I think it's good for you to hear because it's something that totally transformed the way I looked at my business and the way that I looked at the people that I was meeting with, and made me feel more comfortable with the gifts that I had to offer, okay? So, scroll number 2, if you ever want to look it up, you can Google it. I will greet this day with love in my heart, for this is the greatest secret of success in all ventures. Muscle can split a shield and even destroy life, but only the unseen power of love can open the hearts of men. And until I master this art, I will remain no more than a peddler in the marketplace. I will make love my greatest weapon, and none on whom I call can defend against its force. My reasoning they may counter, my speech they may distrust, my apparel they may disapprove, my face they may reject, and even my bargain may cause them suspicion. Yet my love will melt all hearts, likened to the sun whose rays soften the coldest days. That always gave me like comfort, you know, when I was worried about all the other stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna love them, and they're gonna love me because I love them. I will greet this day with love in my heart. And how will I do this? Henceforth will I look on all things with love, and I will be born again. I will love the sun, for it warms my bones, yet I will love the rain, for it cleanses my spirit. I will love the light, for it shows me the way, yet I will love the darkness, for it shows me the stars. I will welcome happiness, for it enlarges my heart, yet I will endure sadness, for it opens my soul. I will acknowledge rewards, for they are my due, yet I will welcome obstacles, for they are my challenge. I will greet this day with love in my heart. And how will I speak? I will laud mine enemies, and they will become friends. I will encourage my friends, and they will become brothers. Always will I dig for reasons to applaud. Never will I scratch for excuses to gossip. When I am tempted to criticize, I will bite my tongue. When I am moved to praise, I will shout from the roofs. And I will say, like, that part makes a big difference, especially when you're meeting with people who at first may have walls up. And our natural reaction is just kind of be like, you know, like, at least that's my natural. That's probably not Tanya's. She's probably like, oh, love them. But that is me, you know, like, I'm just like, oh. But now when I look at that person, I think, I will greet this day with love in my heart. You know, and it helps to break down those walls because that's the way that I'm approaching them. I'm looking for the good things about them because we all have them. It just may not be as apparent with everyone. Yeah. It is not so, is it not so that birds, the wind, the sea, and all nature speaks with the music of praise for the Creator? Can I not speak with the same music to his children? Henceforth will I remember this secret, and it will change my life. I will greet this day with love in my heart. And how will I act? I will love all manners of men, for each has qualities to be admired, even though they be hidden. With love, I will tear down the wall of suspicion and hate which they have built around their hearts, and in its place I will build bridges so that my love may enter their heart. I will love the ambitious, for they can inspire me. I will love the failures, for they can teach me. I will love the kings, for they are but human. I will love the meek, for they are divine. I will love the rich, for they are yet lonely. I will love the poor, for they are so many. I will love the young for the faith they hold. I will love the old for the wisdom they share. I will love the beautiful for their eyes of sadness. I will love the ugly for their souls of peace. I will greet this day with love in my heart. But how will I react to the actions of others? With love. For just as love is my weapon to open the hearts of men, love is also my shield to repulse the arrows of hate and the spears of anger. Adversity and discouragement will beat against my new shield and become as the softest of reins. My shield will protect me in the marketplace and sustain me when I'm alone. It will uplift me in moments of despair, yet it will calm me in times of exultation. It will become stronger and more protective with use until one day I cast aside and walk unencumbered among all manners of men, and when I do, my name will be raised high on the pyramid of life. I will greet this day with love in my heart, and how will I confront each whom I meet? In only one way, and in silence and to myself, I will address him and say, I love you, in silence. Though spoken in silence, these words will shine in my eyes, unwrinkle my brow, bring a smile to my lips, and echo in my voice, and his heart will be opened. And who is there who will say nay to my goods when his heart feels my love? That is another part that made a huge difference. I mean, for many years, I feel like I went to my appointments thinking about me, about what I needed to get from it, what I, and when you're going in there with the thought, as you guys are building teams and becoming directors and earning cars, you have this number in the back of your mind, like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's so easy to go in there with this, I need this, I need this. Like, it just tenses you all up, and they feel that, even though you don't say it. And so when you can focus instead on just loving them, then I could relax and the results that I needed would come, especially in the area of interviews. Because Amber has always been super strong. Like, that's why she has B's. But that is something that I really had to learn and to grow in a whole lot, was being comfortable with asking for the interview. So it was a learning process for me, for sure. I will greet this day with love in my heart, and most of all, I will love myself, for when I do, I will zealously inspect all things which enter my body, my mind, my soul, and my heart. Never will I overindulge the requests of my flesh. Rather, I will cherish my body with cleanliness and moderation. It just makes me laugh, cleanliness. Never will I allow my mind to be attracted to evil and despair, but I will lift up the knowledge of Jesus. Never will I allow my soul to be complacent, satisfied, rotation, and prayer. Never will I allow my heart to become small and bitter. Rather, I will share it, and it will grow and warm the earth. I will greet this day with love in my heart. Henceforth will I love all mankind. From this moment, all hate is let from my veins, for I have not time to hate, only time to love. From this moment, I take the first step required to become a man among men. With love, I will increase my sales 100-fold and become a great salesman. If I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. Without it, I will fail, though I possess all the knowledge and skills of the world. I will greet this day with love in my heart, and I will succeed. So I've gone through coaching a couple times with Brandon and their group, and during one of the sessions I did, you had to read those 3 times a day. Out loud. Yeah, out loud. Gets in your brain, which is what it's supposed to do. That's the point. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So, but can you see how you attract more people to you with that than needing to go out and find people? And not that you're not still asking the questions, because we still have the responsibility to do the work and ask the questions, but you're going to be a whole lot more likely to attract people to you, and that's the way that you're approaching them. Okay. So then you've played the purse game, you've built rapport, you've had all the love in your heart. It still makes me giggle a little, but it is good stuff. And you get to the end of your party, and you're doing the individual close, which is the time when we ask the questions, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing individual closes, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just making sure. I mean, sometimes stuff comes out here, and you're like, wait, what? If it's you, it's okay. We'll talk later. We'll figure it out. So what do I say? I mean, I say the same thing in every single individual close, basically. And the last question is always, I've said, how does your skin feel? She's like, oh, good. It's really soft. Did you have fun? How did your skin feel? What were your favorite sets? Go through all that. Do the sales part. She didn't get everything she wanted. Booking a party. And then the last question, when I was a consultant, was like the hardest one for me to ask. Does anybody else feel like that? No? See? You guys are way ahead of me already. It was hard. It was hard. But once I did all of the stuff we talked about, it helped. So there's a right way to say it, I think, and a wrong way to say it, but not a wrong. I mean, you got to do it for your personality. But I think in general, you got to say a few words that help people feel more comfortable and less like you're trying to get them. And so letting them off the hook is the biggest thing for me. So when I ask that question, I always say, I know this is something that you would probably never be interested in, but you heard my goal during our game that I'm working toward my equinox right now. And so every person that watches the video or listens to the audio, whatever you're doing, and follows up with me for coffee or Coke, my treat, and I'll bring you a little present, helps me get closer to doing that. Is there any reason why you couldn't watch this video real quick? And what?
So something.
It's a ladybug.
It's a ladybug.
Okay.
They're my friends. Thank you. The other avenue that I'll sometimes take, depending on the person, is just saying, you heard me say during letter W that I was going to ask at least 2 people tonight. What do you think about being one of my people? And so just depending on the person's personality. But those are the 2 kind of, and it's still with, when I'm asking them if they would be one of my people, I still preface it with, I know this is something you would probably never consider doing, because it'll do 1 or 2 things. She'll be like, shoot. Or she'll be like, well, why not? What's wrong with me? Like it could go either way, and either way is fine. It's good either way, So, all right. The other thing about getting the interview, well, I think that's good for right now. So guests to events is the other topic for tonight, is how to get guests to events. We need this. This is perfect. So traditionally, the way Mary Kay intended it to be was that meeting would be for second appointments. It would be for people who you met at parties that you thought would be really good at Mary Kay, or you just really liked and you wanted to schedule a follow-up with them and bring them to the meeting. So traditionally, and best case scenario, when they come to a meeting, it may be their second appointment. Now, little different world that we live in today. So I think that meeting is also a great place for referrals a lot of times, for like networking events that you've done and getting people there, just because in the day and age that we live in, a lot of people feel more comfortable meeting at a place like that than having you come to their home when you're first meeting them the first time. So I feel like those are 2 really great ways. But it happens at the same place. The individual close at the end of your party, is how most of the time you're going to get people as guests to meetings. And does anybody have something super that you feel like has worked for you before when you're getting guests to meeting that you want to share? Like something that you've said or a line that you've used? Script? What?
I have someone coming tomorrow night because I'm starting a new portfolio.
Yes.
And she's coming because she said, when I asked her, she goes, oh, that would be great, because she says I have a great before and after picture. And now she wants me to text her tomorrow with the address, because I've already asked her if she can bring some friends.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I'm going to do some incentives.
Yeah.
Like if you can bring, I'll give you $10.
Yeah.
For each person.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the before and after portfolio, like asking them to be a model at your event, is always a good thing. That's always an easy. And if you specifically ask someone to come to be a model, make sure that you let Amber or I know, because like we can have a moment after we've done the makeovers and have them either come up to the front of the room or just have you like introduce them and talk about, all right, this is the look that she tried, so that she feels like that is really why she was there. And what, I think that's a really important, just like having integrity with it. I think that's a really important piece. So make sure that if you've asked somebody for that reason, that you let us know. But I think that's always a great reason to get people at meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Any other things that you've done?
Just to, share with them that what your goal is, like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to have X number of guests this month at my meeting
Yeah.
because I'm blah, 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 and,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And would you help me out? Because I just need one more.
Yeah.
You always just need one more.
Yeah. Well, and like it is a part. Guest to meeting count as an interview and a face for you. So it is a big part of like when you're earning the trip to Gatlinburg or you're doing Perfect 6 or Perfect 12, like it's a big deal.
I just never use the word meeting ever.
Yeah.
Because people like think
Boring.
bored we're
Yeah.
chair. So I would say an event.
Vent.
Or
Yeah.
like a girls' night, and I don't know the last time I used the word meeting. Like even sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm like going to my event, and I'm like meeting, like to people like friends.
Yeah.
So.
You're like, it's a meeting for real, honey. I'm doing work. Yeah. All right. I think those are all really great. The before and after portfolio is probably the one that I use the most. And I do actually have a before and after portfolio that I show people, like I think that's important too, is to have integrity with that. And there's been times where I've done a more specific before and after portfolio and been looking for maybe people from all these categories as far as career or something like that. And I'll have a specific portfolio for that, that they get to fill out, like why they love their job and blah, 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 things like that. Try to make it special and for real, because it is, it is and put their pictures in there. It's a big deal. So what keeps us from getting guests to meet? Like, what are some of the things that hold you back from having guests at meeting?
Distance.
Distance, because a lot of your people are out Falmouth way. Yeah.
Missing training. Well, I like coming to meetings to learn things. And so.
Oh, because you're saying.
you
like,
don't
missing
pay
guests
missing out on
stay.
something like this.
Oh,
When I-
you wouldn't miss it. You can come in here. You wouldn't have guests.
But I don't like leaving them out there.
Yeah, not either.
Oh,
If I have
Don't
guests, I
either.
feel like I need to be attentive to them.
that'd be all right.
Yeah.
We'll take good care.
Well, that's why they need to bring a friend. Like it is kind of like weird.
Awkward if they're by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if I just am always like, it's way more fun if you bring people, and then like I don't feel bad leaving them by themselves.
And I'll have a gift for you when you do.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, if it's just them, you kind of do have to stay with them.
Yeah.
Well, I think just my own personality and stuff, like if somebody like invited me, I'd be like, oh, no. What, like, I thought we were just gonna do some makeup and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause like, it would like, coming to a meeting would be way too much.
Yeah.
This is not
That would
what
not be a good starting point for
It would
you.
be, like really hard, like I would be like, thank you so much for your time, but you're probably not gonna have me as a customer, and because I feel like that wasn't what you were telling me
Yeah.
we were gonna do today.
Yeah.
So like that's not everybody's like me, because I'm
Yeah.
but like that's when I think about it, and I'm like, oh gosh, what am I doing? So like I try to like it's my girls' night out, and then follow up with, and this is kind of what the way the night's gonna go. We're gonna do blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Blah. And then that way they have the opportunity.
As you let them know, like what's
Mhm.
going on. I always say like there'll probably be several consultants there. There'll be
Mhm.
several guests. Everybody will kind of be doing some things together and some things I'll just do
Yeah.
with you, and I so that they're aware ahead of time. Yeah. Mental hurdles more than anything else for us. Yeah. Anything else that keeps you from having guests?
Just for planning.
Just being ready.
It's 4:00 on Thursday, and I didn't invite anybody.
So just like in your weekly plan sheet on Monday, asking people.
Yep.
And if you've had appointments the week before, like it's kind of like booking when you start the month with book 7. It's not as hard to get to book 10. If you have parties the week before and you ask people to be a guest to your meeting, then it's not as hard as trying to do it all at one time. So, yeah.
I think I need to start having people to meetings to help me learn the interview process even more, because I pay
Yes.
attention and
Yeah. You're a whole lot more likely to be listening closely
Yeah.
when you have guests here.
right.
You're a whole lot more likely to be having fun in the back if you don't have guests.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also for me, part of it is that I think it's easier for someone to cancel when they're going someplace, but like if they're having me at their house, like I'm gonna show up. So so I think that's part of it too for me, is like in my head, like I've already decided they're gonna cancel on me. And then they do. So
Mental roadblocks we got to get over.
I just
What you think about your bring about?
Right.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of that, I think, for me. So.
Something I heard once was, how did she put it? And I've said this before, and it was actually pretty, useful. Was just remember I've reserved a spot for you,
Uh-huh.
and I'll have a gift for you. Would you prefer this or this, whatever? But
If
the
you have
reserve a spot for you.
Kids, you can totally pull the babysitter card. Like,
Well, he was at MSD at fall, like advance or fall retreat. What's it called? Fall.
Fall advance, yeah.
You know, the one out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was talking about, this is my livelihood. And,
Yeah.
Like really just laid it out.
Letting them know they take it
Yeah.
seriously. Because I even have some really awesome, like, customers who are super loyal customers. A lady from church last week walked up and she was like, so are you still doing Mary Kay right now? Like, because I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant. Yeah, I'm totally still doing Mary Kay right now. It's kind of how we eat.
If you work somewhere else, you would just quit.
Right. Everybody just quits working when they're pregnant. Yeah, totally. But I think there's that perception, like, you have to take it very seriously for other people to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And you have to let them know that, yeah, like, I'm going to do this forever. I'm here forever. For sure. Yeah. All right. So next week, we're all going to have a bajillion guests here at meeting, right? Our room's going to be totally full.
Yes.
I do actually already have one for next week.
Woohoo!
I have one for Monday.
Yay!
I'm gonna make it tonight.
Such meetings here on a Monday too, right?
April.
It's
Yeah,
April.
Monday.
Yep.
We have to let April know, or we had to let Amber know. Just
Let
she'll
Amber know, and she'll
or
let April
something.
know. Yeah,
Let Amber and then she'll let April know.
Yeah, and it's basically the same.
it is.
Yeah. Only they don't do like a training. It's like a booking blitz on Mondays. So
Depends week to
Yeah.
week.
most weeks it's the last 3 or 4 weeks it's been
Has it?
booking. So like Monday and Wednesday afternoon is my booking because I have
There you
I have
go.
an April's meeting for that experience too.
All right, so I want to do an exercise with you all. You have paper, pen, that kind of stuff with you. You're gonna need it, or whatever. I don't care.
Are we playing first game?
No. All right. So I want you to, obviously when we're trying to get interviews with people, we said already that those people come, best case scenario, they come from your skincare classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are exceptions to that rule. There might be some people in your life who you might ask to do an interview without having tried the product or been, at skincare class. But in general, the best case scenario is that there are people who have tried the product, who love it, who, came from a skincare class situation. In general, it turns out better. Okay. So I want to help us think of this a little bit differently. So I want you to think about I want you to think about the qualities of the people that you want to do business with, that you want in your team, that you want to do life with. Like, I want you to write them down, like specific qualities that you're looking for.
That's all.
You're like, I got it. Top 3, baby. Top 3.
I had an extra in there just for Keith.
Yeah, join us. Come closer.
Next week.
I'll be
here. I'll be going home. Chris,
All right, so what are some of the qualities that you have written down? I think it helps us to hear from other people, because other people might have one. They're like, oh yeah, that's really good.
Just
Go.
write one or just rattle them off.
You can just tell us all.
Hard worker, has some money, not led by drama, and loves Jesus.
Ooh, not led by drama. That's a
Yeah.
good one. All right.
I have a couple that I know would be great and they don't drive.
Okay.
Mm.
So resources,
Yeah.
like driving. That's important. You're like, you should go get your license.
I'll help you. I'll drive you.
Kelly, do you have any?
Yeah, one of my biggest ones is positive, happy women, or
Yeah.
women who want to be positive and happy.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes you don't realize. You know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
positive or happy or want to be. That's a good one.
I want to be good.
Elizabeth, what about you?
I said fun. I like to have fun.
Because you need fun.
Self-starting,
Mm.
not afraid to dream, God-centered, and a woman who have integrity.
Yeah,
Those are good.
I like the not afraid to dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People always call my dreams cute. I'm like, well, you should hop on because it's a great way to be.
Cute. You're like cute. No, they're
Yeah,
serious.
you should grow up and like
They're serious.
set some goals inside. It's what I was told recently, and I was like, well, my goals are just stepping stones, those dreams.
Jessica, what about you? Yeah, that was really good.
Intelligent, faith-filled, honest, and decision makers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not.
Christy, what about you?
Professional, resourceful, honest, have integrity, hardworking, and have moxie.
Ooh,
Explain
I
that
like
one
that
because
word.
I am not hip.
Well, moxie's not actually. It's a word from like the 40s.
Okay, well, I'm not either one of those.
It just means like tough and tough and
Chutzpah.
yeah, chutzpah, good word.
Yeah.
You know.
I've got
What the heck?
Grit. If you
I
want
like
grit.
I feel like I need a dictionary tonight. What is happening?
Yeah, it's just that corner.
I feel like moxie is like spunkier though.
Yeah, spunky or grit or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a little sass,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
not like,
Not like
Caffeine.
sass, but
yeah,
like sass.
Yeah.
like a little
Not like
sass.
Lydia sass. Cool. Some that I had thought of earlier were influential, disciplined. One that Jamie Verona said at Fall Advance in the director meeting was that she looks for women who are bright-eyed. And when I thought about that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's good. Like they just have life to them, you know?
Yeah.
Resourceful, which several of you said. So either they have money or they have access, you know, they can figure stuff out.
Right, that's what I mean by resourceful.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
Figure it out.
Not afraid to work hard, faithful, women of vision, ready right now, willing. Not, I loved your not afraid to dream. I totally wrote that one down. So, okay, now looking at these qualities that you've written down, I want you to think of 10 to 15 women that are in your life who exhibit these qualities. So from the community, from your church, from your family, from your customer base even, like write down some names.
I feel blank. You're making me nervous.
Well, I will say, like, this is the part where fear kind of gets a hold of you because it's a different way of looking at the booking thing. And April taught this to us at Fall Advance, and she said there were women on my list that I had never approached about anything Mary Kay wise. I mean, April Hutchinson, for crying out loud. Because I was scared to go there. So my brain didn't even like consider them ever, not once, until I went about doing it this way. And she was in a period of time where she had been in some circles that she just didn't want to be in any longer. And so she knew she had to do something to change it. And so this is how she changed it. And so it's really powerful, but it takes a little bit of gumption to even write. Like, I remember when we were doing this, sales directors in the room, like, we were all like, crap, I don't want to write her name down because then I have like a responsibility to do something with it. But it's pretty awesome.
The toughest part about it for me is like the women that I'm writing down, they all have high-paying corporate career-type jobs that they are in love with.
Yeah.
And so what could I offer them other than like a great skincare line? And I know that's wrong
Right.
in my mind. Like I've got an attorney, the head of marketing at Procter & Gamble, and someone who runs the marketing of a startup.
Yeah.
And
But you never know.
They
Like,
kinda have
you
friends.
see them as awesome, high-powered,
yeah,
totally happy, have everything they possibly want.
right.
And I think of like Tammy Craig,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
like you never know what they
Right.
need or what
Right.
they're looking for or
Yeah.
what, like,
Right.
you know, maybe to have that high-powered job, they work 75 hours a week
Right.
and they've got young kids,
Yeah.
You know, what are they
She did
missing
that
out
maybe
on?
2 weeks ago.
Right.
But she was like, yeah, Procter & Gamble, like, you know, product loyalty, like I can't.
Well, no,
she didn't wanna have
that's
a-
like in her contract though,
Yeah,
Yeah, she
with
can't.
with
chill.
P&G.
right.
So I think, and April said this when she talked to us about it, is that when you start to make this list, you start to realize like how much you were holding yourself back from thinking of women just because like you're afraid of being rejected, or you're afraid you don't have anything to offer them, or you're, you know, but when you like listen to some national sales director stories, and we absolutely have something to offer
Right.
them, you know, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing is when you look at people that are in the dream role in Mary Kay, when you look at Julia, when you look at Pam Shaw, when you look at Gloria, like these are women who are running the world.
Yeah.
Like they are powerhouses.
But they had to work to get there.
Yeah.
And those women that you've written down had to work to get to where they are. So
Right.
they're familiar with that
Yeah.
process, you know?
hmm Yeah. And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with.
Right.
Like you become like the people that you surround yourself with.
Mhm.
So your
Well, and
team members need to be people like that.
part of this activity is like asking them to host.
Right.
So it's just people in their circle
So,
too.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
even
like,
if it's not
maybe
them.
for them, they're like, it's not for them, and
Right.
that's fine. But like, obviously, if they're that influential, then they very likely also have influential
Right.
friends.
Right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They know other people.
Yep.
So we're asking them for an interview, or we're asking them, what do we ask them?
Bookings.
Okay.
Because that's where your interviews are going to come from, right?
Mhm.
Book them. Okay.
I remember April also saying that she realized when she was doing this activity, like how much she'd been holding herself back, and partially because of like those women you were talking about, Elizabeth, like she was afraid to be excellent and afraid to share, you know, and you were like, seriously, April Hutchinson. You know?
I'd be there later.
Shoot. But we can, you know? So, and then the third part of that is, I think one thing I'll say is that you might not have a list. The goal I would think is to have 10 to 15 women on that list. And you might not think of them all tonight because it is a little bit more difficult process and some things you got to get over in your mind to write them down. So revisit it tomorrow, come back to it and write down more names on that list. And then the third part of that is brainstorm some places, like outside of the box thoughts of places that you could meet some women who have the characteristics of the women on that list. So, like when we were brainstorming it at Fall Advance, you know, one of the things we talked about is I'm so not a morning person, but if you get up early and go work out somewhere, like those are women who are headed off to a professional job in many cases, or you go right after work, or you know, something like that. A coffee shop.
Start working out.
I know, right? A coffee shop in a certain area of town where you know that young professionals might hang out, or
I was at Starbucks this morning and it was like, I rolled out of bed and went to Starbucks and it was like, why the heck did you take 5 minutes
to put your
a
face
bra
together.
on and put some-
Yeah, hindsight's
Tomorrow you
2020.
It's a new day.
What are some places like that you guys consider? Can you think of any?
When I used to drive Chris to work, I used to always, I mean, it was like kind of the same thing. I'd like be in my sweatpants, but like I'd pick him up at 5 o'clock and I'd be like, these are some super sharp women. I used to like go early sometimes and warm chatter down there.
Yes, Joe?
In your sweatpants?
Well, I don't pick them up anymore.
Yeah.
Too far.
And it doesn't always have to be warm chattering, you know, like if it is something like where you go work out or where you decide to go work at a coffee shop in the mornings or whatever, it can just also be like building a relationship with them over time. You know, if warm chattering is something that you're like, no. Chris, that's her niche, but it's not for everybody.
Or even just like places, like lunch places that are near office buildings. You know,
Yep.
delis or whatever near office.
I remember one of the sales directors saying Chick-fil-A, like people who work at Chick-fil-A, because the culture of that company is a whole lot like the culture of
Yeah.
Mary Kay, and just all the awesome things that you hear about them and all that would be a good place to go and talk and meet some people or hang out or,
What would you do if you went to Chick-fil-A though? What
I
would
mean,
you do?
I go there and hang out with my kids sometimes in the middle of the morning.
So I'm just
I
gonna
guess
just like
I
sit there and I
waffle
go
fries.
eat and then I go home.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
I'm like, really,
I
how would
love
you,
waffle
how would you
fries. Like,
meet?
warm cheddar, like,
What would you do?
Yeah, if you're a warm chatter, you could warm chatter them. But if not,
The workers.
So what do you say, just like, oh, your skin is so pretty, what do you use? And then,
That's a good
I
idea.
normally, that's,
I think I heard that.
so I don't warm chatter a whole lot. I tend to only do it like if we have a really good waitress or, something like that.
Yeah.
That's an easy scenario for me to be like, you were so awesome. I'd love to give you a gift. I'm more of a gift giver kind of warm chatter. And so then having them write down their name and like, you have a gift certificate to spend with me, blah, and giving them a little sample or something. But I know Chris just says, has anybody with Mary Kay ever given you a business card? But yeah, I love to say when I have warm chattered, it has been something like, you're the prettiest eyes, or you do such a good job making up your eyes. I would love, has anybody ever offered you a pampering session and makeover with Mary Kay?
It has to be genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be like,
Yeah,
she looks like Mimi, and then you say her eyes look awesome. No.
Someone ever offered you a pampering session with Mary Kay?
And gift certificate with Mary Kay, yeah.
I actually warm chatted the dad or the guy that changed my brakes this morning. I was like chatting with him, and he was like, "Oh, I always told my daughter that she'd be good at that." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what is she doing tonight? I have an event. Like, that would be awesome. Get my card."
And that's exactly what she
She probably sounded just like that too. Yep, we love it.
Yeah. Like, "Oh yeah, I'll pass it on. She might not be free tonight, but I'll make sure she gets your info." And I was like,
Awesome. Yeah.
he was like, "She's looking for a change." I'm like, "I can provide a change."
I got that. Yeah. Cool. All right. So the homework for this week is to set up 5 interviews.
Oh, done.
5 interviews this week.
Yes.
5, we
Or
just
just
kind of
get them
set
on the
them up
book, or
like a,
complete them.
I think probably that they happen this week.
Well, I have 4 parties next weekend, so that would have been.
And then nailing your bubble sheet if you don't have it done yet, if you didn't earn the lookbooks or whatever, but nailing a bubble sheet. And then we're going to send you out the audio for choices.
I
The
have
tube
it.
in. Yeah, and you may already have it, but if you don't, you can listen to it online now, which is super fun. And so to listen to that this week.
I actually give the website that you can log into that has the subscription
Yeah.
for choices. I like made sure that the password was some like scripture, and so I get comments on it all the time when I give out the password. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what's Proverbs 3:6?" And I like tell them, and they're like, "That's a great one. I should like think about that."
Mine is my unit name, Courageous Conquerors, so
Oh, nice.
that makes
that
sense.
is long, isn't it?
Well, like the username is one and the
Oh, okay.
password is the other.
Yeah.
My
No.
password's choices.
Is it? All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.